Hey, this video is on sales basics. I have experience in sales, and everything that I've learned here is objective knowledge. I just applied what I learned from people who were better than me, and I just worked diligently, and I can tell you this stuff works. So again, all of this is fact, not fiction, or not fact or fiction. Um, None of this is like from my own experiences. This is all coming from people who are better than me, okay? And it's been proven to work. All right. So yeah, I'm not gonna give you guys some sales formula to follow because people give a bunch of formulas. Just try to appeal to the logos. Try to appeal to logic, not emotion. Okay, because when you appeal to emotion, you're manipulating, you're using deception, trying to move their emotions the way you want. Just focus on the logos, using logic, um, making sure that your offer can actually benefit the person who is buying, making it a win-win for both parties. Okay, anyway, we'll start from the top here. Let's do it. I can't zoom in. There we go. Zoom in some more. Boom. All right. So this is called transactional analysis. Um, I forget who it's from. Let me see. Transactional analysis. Here we go. It is by Eric Berne. Okay, an expert in psychology. Here is what he taught. So there are three ego states: parent, adult, child. You always want to try to operate from the adult, and that is coming from the logos at all times, right? Um, yeah, and what you want to do is where you want to be is adult to adult. Okay, this is where you want to be, and I should probably have a circle if I can find one. Here we go. Let's just circle this, right? Boom. This is where you want to be, adult to adult. Okay, not parent to child, not parent to parent, not child to parent, adult to adult. And there are two types of parents. There is the nurturing parent, critical parent. No one needs your sympathy or your empathy. Just be an adult. Okay? Cuz then let's say you're being a nurturing parent, right? You're trying to be a good person. Well, guess what? They feel good getting nurtured, which is feeding their ethos. Um, yeah, they get pleasure out of it. And when you appeal to the ethos instead of the logos, they might think, "Oh, this guy is just manipulating me, trying to be all nurturing, trying to care about me, about my traumas and my life," right? It's not that you don't care about the prospect. It's just every day we're supposed to just try to be as useful as possible. That is our job as human beings, right? So your job is to help them with their problem, and that is it, not to be a therapist. When you try to do all that stuff, you come off manipulative. Okay? You want to be an adult. And then you don't want to be a child either. And most salesmen are like really adaptive. They're trying to be they're apologetic. They try to fit in, they're trying to impress. Um, Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, you can say, "I'm sorry," or "I apologize," but you don't want to be overly apologetic, right? Because then you're trying to appeal to their ethos, like, "Oh, like, I'm a good guy," right? Like, trust me. Just appeal to the logos, all right? By being an adult. Transactional questions. You start off small and you slowly scale up the questions. That's it. I'm not here to give you a sales formula on the right questions to ask. Just appeal to the logos. All right. Now down here, um, Yeah, this is actually complete bullshit. Let me take this off. All right. Let's cuz I made this like a long time ago. Probably like half a year ago. So now here is actually what it is. All right, let's fix this. I'm doing this live, unedited. All right, so we're going to say this is, we're going to raise this up to like 64. Probably make this bold if I can. All right, so this is like 80% or 70. I believe it's, yeah, 70% pretty much. You don't need the exact numbers here. Okay, 70%. This is like, um, this is like 20%. And then this is like, oh, so I'm doing this completely wrong. This is 60. This is 30. And then this is, let's copy this, paste this. This is 10%. Boom. Okay. So how you say it using tonality, body language, rate of speech, volume is 60% of your brain power. So we're gonna say brain energy. All right. Boom. And we'll keep this bold. Boom. Brain energy. Okay. How you say it, tonality, body language, rate of speech, volume, all of this is how you say things, right? And that is 60% of your brain energy. Okay? 60%. And then appealing to the logos rather than the ethos, using logic rather than using emotional appeal. This is 30% of your brain energy. Okay? And then what to say, which is using your instincts, your memory, is 10%. It's automatic pretty much. Sometimes you might have some brain fog and you got to go back into your unconscious mind and dig it up, but it's pretty much like 10% of your brain. But 60% is on how you say it, making sure that what you're saying is very clear and concise. You want to keep it concise because you're not trying to be some you're not trying to appeal to the ethos, right? So you keep it concise. And you make sure that what you're saying is clear. So you slow down your rate of speech, you bring up your volume, you bring down your volume, you use body language, helps you with the flow, and sometimes you gotta give like a visual representation of something using your hands, right? Your hands can be quite crafty to help explain something. It also helps you speak better. Um, and then tonality is also super important. Um, tonality, I it's going to be quite natural a lot of the time. Um, but if you can try to use better tonality, like if you're asking a question, uh, try to make it more curious, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of deception artists actually say tonality. And if it's artificial, isn't that pretty much deception? Appealing to the ethos. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna take off tonality here because I did use deception for a previous sales company, right? So this is all pretty old. So uh, yeah, I took off tonality. I think it's better not to focus on tonality too much because it'll come off artificial. Try to be honest. This is all about honest selling. Okay, I'll admit it. I used to sell deceptively, and I've recently switched over to selling to uh, logical appeal instead of emotional appeal. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is updated in the current time that we're in my life, right? This is honest selling. We should sell this to honest selling basics. Honest selling basics. There we go. We changed it up. Honest selling basics. Um, yeah, this is these are different character traits. You can either be dominant, influential, compliant, or steady. And this is from back in the day when I used to sell deceptively. So I'm like fact checking this right now. Um, hmm. Man, I mean, I wouldn't even focus on this. Yeah, forget that. Forget that. All right, we're gonna go over here. So these are the different awareness levels. Okay. You have unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. Let me make this smaller. There we go. Now it's more high definition. And you have, yeah, you have unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and loyal, which is pretty much most aware. Most aware, meaning your, they bought an identical product to yours, or your exact product. Either one, either an identical product to your product, or the same product, which is your product, right? Or service even, right? If you're selling a service or product, whatever it is. Um, if you're selling a service, you are the product, or your team is the product, basically. Um, but yeah, so when you are here, you want to figure out where your customer or client is at. If they're unaware, you got to make them aware about the problem, and then take them into solution, and then product aware, and then get the purchase, right? Making them a loyal customer. But yeah, try to see where they are. Um, there is no best place for them to be at, because either way you're going to appeal to logic instead of emotion. So yeah, try to see where they're at. Do they know about your product? Well, if you're on a sales call with them, surely they're up here, right? Right? Unless they're trying to just scam you. I don't know. But yeah, they should be over here if you're on a sales call. If you're not taking a sales call and you're, doing something else, you're running a campaign to people who don't know about your thing, then it'll start down here. And there is no best place to be. Product aware, what you want to usually do here if they um, know about the product, but they haven't bought the product, right? Loyal is most aware. So that means they've purchased either your product or an identical product. So they know the functionalities of it. But being product aware means they know that's the product they want to get. Either that's yours or another person's, or your service or another person's service. They're just trying to find the best option, right? Now, what will make yours the best option is the amount of value, right? The amount of value is what matters. Um, yeah, if your product is commoditized, you want to try to give as much value for the money's worth of what they're paying for. So make sure it's an affordable solution with lots of value, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Solution aware is, hey, like, you know, um, they know it's going to solve their problem, right? So they're getting on the sales call, um, or they're on your website ready to buy, knowing your product or your service. They don't know what the product is, but they know you're the source that will solve their problem. But they don't know what the product will be, right? So yeah, the knowing, just sticking to this will definitely help you out. And you guys can kind of just navigate that knowledge yourself and really figure it out for yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. Um, I could explain it a lot better, but then again, I might just go on tangents. Coming from your subconscious, which is your character, right? These are four characteristics you want to have. You always want to keep this in mind when you are trying to get the sale. You want to love the prospect, care about their needs, not the paycheck. You want to detach from what they say or think about you. You want to detach from the sale or outcome, right? So, again, this is pretty much caring about the prospect, loving the prospect. This was made a long time ago, but this still stands true. And then you also want to have something they want. Okay? Well, no. Oh my God. You want to remember that you have something they want. Okay? Remember. Let me say remember here. Remember that you have something they want. All right? So, remember you have something they want if they are showing up to your sales call, or at they're coming to your table, or they're coming to your website or your store or whatever. Remember, you have something they want. Now if you're approaching cold leads, right? If you're approaching cold leads, this does not apply, right? Because you don't know if you have something they want until they actually tell you that, yeah, they need your solution, or yeah, your solution will help. So this is not applicable to approaching cold leads at all. Okay, this is mostly for closing deals, from using warm leads. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And then here is the levels of motivation. Let me make this larger, make this bold even. Oh, bold. Make this a little larger. Boom. Cool. So these are the levels of motivation. You have survival, status, freedom, and purpose. And just know, if someone's trying to just pay the bills and get by, they don't have the mental capacity to even think about status or freedom or purpose. They're just trying to get by. They're trying to survive, right? They're trying their best to survive. They're on their last meal. Everything's going terrible. They're against the wall. This is survival. Okay. Status is a state people fall into and stay in. It's like a never-ending cycle, and I pray that people escape this level of motivation. But yeah, a lot of people seek a solution for ego, for status, and then there are people who seek freedom, and then there's people who seek purpose. You want to see where their heart aligns. Now, when I used to use this pyramid to teach manipulation to sales agents, right? Because I used to use deception to get the sale. But I'm a new man. I use honesty now. I appeal to the logos, not the ethos. I used to appeal mostly to the ethos to get the sale. But yeah, I've changed and I'm selling differently now. And I hope you guys can do the same. Because trust me, um, it's never good. It'll damage the company's reputation and even your reputation. It'll literally hit you back like a boomerang. Okay? So, I'm going to make a circle here. Make sure that they are doing it for purpose and freedom, right? That should be it. Purpose and freedom. Make sure it's not status driven. Um, and yeah, honestly, I would even say don't even, and this is opinionated, but if they're doing it for survival, I just feel like, man, they just haven't given enough to the world if they're in a state of survival. So you're probably not the solution for them. If you're selling to someone who's in a survival state, they're probably not the person to sell to. and this mostly goes for like, because I used to coach for like a business opportunity, and so yeah, a lot of people would be in survival, and I would pull on those emotional strings to get the sale, which I know sounds terrible. Um, yeah, I would try to just make sure that they're up here for whatever you're selling, purpose and freedom, and you should be good. Anyway, yeah, this was quite lengthy. I'll stop this one here. Goodbye.